Morning. Monday morning, December 25th, 2023. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Season's greetings. Best baseball player for the year, 1957. Guess who's back? And guess who emerges onto the scene? 1957. Ted Williams, Henry Aaron tied. 3 categories each. Where did Ted Williams win? Actually, this is number 6 for Ted Williams. And he ties Ty Cobb with 6 Best Player of the Year awards, according to my countdown. I'm going from 1871 to 2023, and I'm looking at each individual year and combining all the players who are playing. All of them. National, American League, Federal League, whatever, all the leagues. Not the Negro Leagues, because we don't have all their stats and we don't have all their box scores correctly. But in the American League, the National League, and even in the Federal League before the 1900s, we have the box scores and record keeping a little better. On this video, 1957, I looked at the stats. Ted Williams and Henry Aaron won 3 categories each. Ted Williams batted .388. How about that? He won that. He won the slugging, .731. And he won the on base. He always wins on base, .526. 3 categories. But Henry Aaron, he won the home run title, 44 homers. Runs batted in, 132. Good year. And the total bases, 369. So I got to give it to both of them, because I have 13 offensive categories. And Williams and Aaron had 3 each, so that makes 6 of them. The other 7, Red Shushinsky had 200 hits. Triples, Willie Mays. Doubles, Don Hoek. Singles, Nellie Fox. Runs scored, Mickey Mantle. Base on balls, Mickey Mantles. And stolen bases, Willie Mays. So Mantle and Mays had 2 categories. But Williams and Aaron, 3. Let's look at their years. Ted Williams. How about this? 1957, he's 38 years old. He plays 132 games, 420 at-bats, 38 homers, 87 RBI, 163 hits, 81 runs scored. But he leads the league in hitting. Now, 1957, 96 runs scored, 163 hits, 28 doubles, 38 homers, 87 RBI. 388 batting average. How about that? 526 on base. Half the time Ted Williams was on base. 731 slugging. If you slug over 600, you're good. 700, you're outstanding. Of course, Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds had 800 slugging seasons. 307 total bases. So Williams gets 3. How about Aaron? Henry Aaron, 1957. This is the first time we're mentioning Hammering Hank. His first win. Williams. Let me go back to Ted Williams. He just won for the 6th time. And what were the years that he won? Well, he won 1941 and 42, back-to-back. That's 2. Then he won 1946, 3. Missed 3 years in the military, so he didn't play. Then he won 1949. Yeah, 1949. That's 4. He wins 1954. That's 5. And then in 1957, the 6th time for Ted Williams. In fact, he probably could have had 9 if he had played those 3 years, right? When he was in his prime in those military service. He was a prime age. Let me look at it. Ted Williams. He served 1943, 44, and 45. During those years, he would have been 24, 25, and 26 years old. You think he would have had a good baseball year? I think so. He probably had 40 homers, 150 RBIs, and probably batted .375. But we'll never know. But how about Henry Aaron? He comes on the scene in 1954. Plays 122 games, hits 13 homers. Bats .280. Okay. He's only 20 years old. 1955, plays the whole year. 27 homers, 100 RBIs. Not eye-popping yet. 1956, 26 homers, plays the whole year. So his first 3 years, he hits about, about 70 homers in the first 3 years. And he's batting good, .314 average, .328 average in those first couple years. But in 1957, he's 24 years old. He's figured out the league. Listen to this. 150 games, 615 at bats, 118 runs scored, 198 hits. The year before, 1956, he had 200 hits. He comes back the next year, 198. 27 doubles, but this is where he breaks out. 44 home runs and 132 RBIs and a .322 batting average and a .369 total base. Slug 600. Williams had a 700 slugging. On base 370, whereas Williams had a 520. All right, you may ask me the question, who's a better player, Henry Aaron or Ted Williams? Well, I wrote a book called Baseball Matchups, and I did a scenario where each player plays 3,000 games, and we match up their stats. What if? So we look at the percentage of what they were producing in the games that they played. How many hits per game played did they average? How many runs scored? How many RBIs? And their batting average. Ted Williams won the matchup against Henry Aaron. Would you say he's a better player than Henry Aaron? I would say he's a better hitter. Is he a better slugger? He's close. He had 521 home runs. All right, let's look at Ted Williams. Is he a slugger just like Henry Aaron? Well, Williams played 2,292 games and hit 521 home runs. Aaron, let's see, he played 3,298 games. Did you know that's 1,000 games more than Ted Williams? So Williams hits 521 in 2,200 games. Aaron hits 755 in 3,200 games. If we give Ted Williams 1,000 more games, how many home runs would he have hit? Well, the way to do it is this. 521 divided by 0.2292. Let's do it this way. 2,292 games divided by .521. How many home runs per game is Ted Williams hitting? Well, he's not hitting a home run per game, so we can't say one per game. Otherwise, he would have had 2,292 home runs, right? So the way to do it is by when you multiply it, 521 divided by .2292, the games. It seems like we can say this, it's not 1, and it's not 0.5. It's not half the time. Otherwise, he would have hit. See, if he hits one home run per game, that's 2,292. If he hits one every other game, it would have been about 1,000 home runs, right? Half of that. But Ted Williams is doing it at about .25 home runs per game. Following me? So it's not every game. It's about every 5th game he's averaging, maybe every 6th game right there, because it's .25. 1/4 would be every 4th game. But if you're doing the percentage on it, it's about one, maybe every 5 or 6 games. So 1,000 games more for Ted Williams, and it's about every 5th game. That would be an extra 250 homers. Following? What's 521 plus 250? 771 home runs Ted Williams would have hit if he played the same number of games as Henry Aaron, at the pace that he was averaging of what he was on. So we can say that Ted Williams, I think, would have been a better slugger than Henry Aaron. Now, Williams is also a better hitter. He has a .344 career batting average. What is Henry Aaron's career batting average? .305. That's about 39-point difference. Williams beats him in homers and RBIs. How about total hits? Aaron had how many? 3,771 for his career. Williams, 2,654. So again, there's another difference of 1,000 hits between them. If Williams plays another 1,000 games, how many more hits would he have gotten? Well, he's averaging about, because see, he walks a lot. Williams walks a lot. So he's averaging about, I'd say, 180 hits a year, if you look at his total numbers. So 1,000 games, if they play 100, let's see, how many games, or how many years would it take to get to 1,000 games? Well, if he plays 150 times 5, that's 750. So 150 times 6 is 900. So it's about 6.5 more years. What we can do is this: 180 hits a year times 6 years. That's another 1,000 hits. 1,080. If I'm doing, it's just vague math, but it's just generalizing on the math equation. If Ted Williams, plays the same number of games as Henry Aaron, and we add another 1,000 hits, maybe 1,100 hits, what's 20? Williams had 2,656 hits, right? 2,654 plus about 1,100. Williams would have ended up with 3,754. Aaron had 3,771. See, they're close in hits. So far, Williams, I think, would have been the better slugger with more homers. He has the better average, and he's on the same as far as total hits. And then runs scored, Williams had 1,798. Aaron had 2165, right? Is that right? Yeah, no, 2174. Give Williams another 1,000 games. He passes Aaron in runs scored. See, I'm matching them both up. I'm doing a what if. So Williams will win in the homers, the batting average. They'll be tied in hits, but Williams will have more runs scored. And you know what else? RBIs. Aaron had 2,297 career RBIs. Williams, 1,839. But another 1,000 games, Williams would have passed Aaron in total career RBIs. And Williams has an on-base percentage better than Aaron, right? Williams, 482 career on base. Aaron, 374. So Williams wins there. Aaron, career slugging, 555. Williams, career, 634. Williams wins in on base and slugging. Now here's the last one, total bases. Williams had 4,800 total bases. But add another 1,000 games. How many total bases would he have ended up with? Well, Aaron has how many? He has 6,856. So that's another 2,000 more total bases he had. But you got to add 1,000 more games for Williams. Does Williams tie or surpass Aaron in total bases if he has those extra 1,000 games? According to projection, he does. Sorry to say it, Ted Williams was a better player than Aaron if you do the matchup on stats. Now, as far as defense, I'm going to give it to Aaron. As far as base stealing, I'll give it to Aaron. Williams didn't steal any bases, really. All right, listen to this. Aaron had 240 career stolen bases. Do you know how many Williams had? Career. 24. That's a little embarrassing, right? So Williams is not a runner. So Aaron will win in the stolen bases. But where else does Aaron win? Not in doubles. Williams had 500 doubles. Aaron had how many? 600. But you got to add the 1,000 gains for Williams, and he'll beat him. Triples, Aaron will win that. So let's go over it. Just to recap. I'm just doing a matchup here, okay? Matchup. If Ted Williams and Henry Aaron play the same number of games, Williams would win in total hits, runs scored, doubles, home runs, RBIs, walks. Williams had 2,000 walks. Aaron had about 1,400. Williams would win in batting average. He would win in on base, slugging, and total bases. Aaron, where would Aaron win? He would win in triples, stolen bases, and fewer strikeouts. Looks like Williams, let's see. Aaron had 709 career total strikeouts. Williams, let's see. I'm sorry. Ted Williams had 709 strikeouts. Aaron, let's see, I'll find him here. 1,300 strikeouts. Aaron played more games than Williams, so he had more strikeouts. But as far as the pace, Williams struck out less than Henry Aaron. That's the baseball matchup. Now, Aaron would also win in defense. He's probably a better defensive player than Williams as far as the outfield, and a throwing arm, probably better. But that's the book I wrote. It's called Baseball Matchups. It's available on Amazon. And I match up hundreds and hundreds of players. Ty Cobb versus Babe Ruth versus Lou Gehrig. I got Cobb versus Hornsby. I've got Jimmy Fox versus Babe Ruth. Fox versus Williams. That was a very close matchup. Do you know that Hornsby matched up better than Williams? And you know who else did? Ed Delante matched up better. I keep talking about that guy in my other videos. I'd recommend this book here. You see this one? Ed Delante. Read this book. Find out what kind of a superstar that guy was. All right, anyway, I've been opining. 1957. See, I sometimes I get carried away in these videos. Ted Williams and Henry Aaron, they tie best baseball player for the year. First win for Aaron, the 6th time for Ted Williams. I just felt I had to point out the matchup between Williams and Aaron. Both Hall of Famers, both guys I'd take on my team. Quality guys. The thing about Aaron, 305 career, where Ted Williams 344 career. What do you want? Do you want a hitter on your team, or do you want a slugger? Aaron hit the 755 homers. Give him the credit. Took him 23 years. Williams hit 521. But what I like about Williams is his batting average. 344 career. Where Aaron, to me, he fell short on the batting average. 305. I would like to have seen Aaron have like a 325, 330, 335, or even 340 career batting average. If he was... He's a great player. But why the 305? Where other guys are much higher, and they're sluggers too. I mean, Gehrig, 340, right? He's a slugger. Career 340 batting average. Ruth is a slugger, right? What's his career? 342 batting average. Hornsby, not much of a slugger. He hit 300 career homers, but 358. And Ty Cobb's not a slugger, but he's a 366. He's in a class by himself. But Williams, he's a slugger. 344. And you know who else? Jimmy Fox. He hit 530 homers, whatever the number is for Jimmy Fox. 534, I think it is. Did you know he had a 325 career batting average? So he's 20 points higher than Aaron. Of course, they're playing in a different era. I know that. Aaron's playing in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Still, guys who played later had high batting averages. It's not the era that affects your batting average. I mean, in my opinion. Because if it did, you wouldn't have guys batting 320 or 330 career right now. But we do. Tony Gwynn, 338 career. And he's playing in the last half of the 20th century, right? 1980s, 90s. Some of the other guys, Rod Carew, 328 career. Wade Boggs, 328. George Brett, I believe he's about 310. All right, what am I saying here? I'm saying the guys in the past, they had to play baseball too. Did they have an easier time playing the game so their averages would be higher? Was Ruth having an easier time back then? You would think the pitchers did not give him much to hit, and it is evident. He had over 2,000 walks, so they didn't want to throw to him. But when the ball was close to the plate, Ruth got a hold of it and maintained a 342 career batting average. How about that? And Ted Williams, same thing. He walked 2,000 times, yet he maintained for his career 344. All right, that is 1957. Next video. 1958. Who wins it? Stay tuned. I'm out.